Our players are sacrificing real things in order to advance their families and their brothers. I think that is what intimidates the owners more than anything, is the concern that our players will turn all of that drive and all of that determination onto collectively bargaining, because they don't stand a chance.
From 1993 till 2011, we had, I think, 4 or 5 extensions of our CBAs without any work stoppage. By the time we got towards the end of the 2006 CBA, it was clear that the owners were not going to extend.
At that time, we were coming off of the recession that had happened in the country back in 08, 09, and I think that it was a way for them to kind of shift a little bit and make a little bit more money.
Not only did we have the lockout to face, but we had our executive director who had led the union for pretty much most of its history, died unexpectedly.
Obviously, Gene had been a rock for so long for the union. So when you have somebody of that caliber pass away, there's a natural divide because somebody's looking for that new leadership.
I didn't know what was next, because here I am, the president now. It falls on your shoulders to be the one to find the next guy.
And from the moment that D was hired, they knew he wasn't really involved in sports, and we knew that they were going to try to take advantage of that and put us in a bind.
They wanted us to play 18 games. They wanted to pay us less. They wanted to grow the pie. They couldn't come to an agreement on how to do it, so they said, let's just take from the players.
And therefore, they closed the doors. And so while players were ready to go to work, there was no work to go to.
When something as dramatic as a lockout happens, many players slipped into the comfortable role of game planning.
We want to have safer field conditions, a better concussion protocol. How much is the right amount of padded practices? How many is the right number of days in the off season to work? And I mean, it's not always about who gets how much money. Of course, that plays a role in it, but we're standing tall and steadfast on protecting our players to make sure that it's the healthiest and safest game possible.
We were called the product. Not one time did any of the owners or the lawyers or the commissioner ever say the players, the game. So to liken us to a bunch of widgets, that pissed me off. So it was my desire to make sure that you're not negotiating against a bunch of widgets, you're negotiating against a bunch of men that make the product that you sell.
We were outmatched financially as far as influence and power is concerned in the media, and then with players really needing to play, there was a lot of pressure.
The lockout happened when I was the incoming draft pick, and it was frustrating. You feel isolated, broke. I think I had negative $48 when I got drafted. I mean, my parents eventually gave me $60 to get it out of the negative, but on top of that, you have anxiety because you don't have minicamp, you don't have OTAs, you don't have a chance to learn the playbook, and these vets are gonna just beat you out.
And then we filed a lawsuit, and we spent the next several months challenging them in court-mandated mediation sessions.
Once I think D got his feet up underneath him, he certainly had no intention of rolling over. Instead, D had a strategy.
We employed something that we believe in, and it's zero-sum bargaining. It's really what issues are important to you and what's the best strategy to achieve your ends.
We had some important wins early. The league had made a deal with its television partners to continue to pay them, even when there wasn't going to be football played, which was, found to be in direct violation of the then existing collective bargaining agreement. And so being able to remove that stream of income from the owners was something that strengthened our position. Another stone on the scale for us as far as leverage goes. I think many people were surprised that we were able to secure essentially lockout insurance.
It was a secret, and we were able to keep it under wraps, and we kind of sprung it on them at the end when we wanted them to sincerely believe that we were willing to miss games.
You walk into the room, you're getting eyed up, wondering, are you gonna be here long term? Is this something that you're really about?
And when they walked in, the goal was they were gonna listen, and then Jerry Jones was gonna say, I had enough.
We were there for 15 hours in a room trying to figure out how can we kind of break this tie here that we were having. We got very little done.
Jerry Jones says, we don't need this, we're leaving. He gets up. He literally starts to walk to the door. So as Mr. Kraft starts to get up, I remember Dominique Foxworth saying, Mr. Kraft, have you seen this before? And he's like, no, what is this? And he says, this is lockout insurance. Our guys are gonna get paid regardless if there's a season or not. He looks at this paper and says, whoa, how did you get this lockout insurance? Dominique starts at the top. Jerry Jones, mind you now, he's still standing at the door. He's beat red because he can't come back and sit down. Because the plan, they're coming in and I'm gonna slam my fist and we walk out, he's now standing there.
The amazing thing that happened was they say, hey, you know, would you guys want to stay around a little bit longer? And we're like, wait a minute, we've been here 15 hours already. Like, no, we're ready to go home. We got flights. You can say, don't worry about flights. We all have private planes. We'll take everybody home. And it was just like, we knew then that we had caught their attention and they were serious about trying to get something done.
That was the shrewdest move that we could have ever made. And players want to know why they pay union dues. That's why you pay union dues, so you can pull that trump card like that. And it's what got the CBA done.
It took a while for the real implications of the collectively bargained for agreement to come to fruition, and then to see the consecutive spikes justify everything that the union said was going to happen. It justified it to the players, it justified it to the owners who thought they had a great deal, and now they're sitting here, it's like, wow.
Ever since then, the salary cap's grown 30-something% every year. This is a deal that they estimated was going to be a $100 billion deal, and we're well within that range.
I think the thing that I'm most proud of, and it bothers me because I never get any calls from anybody saying, hey, thanks that we don't ever have to do two-a-days. Instead, it's more like, why can't we get more money?
We've all come to realize how hard it is to make some of the arguments the owners will make when the players are sitting there willing to fight with them toe-to-toe on what we believe is right.
There's a reason why players are NFL players. And these players have this resolve of saying, I fought through a lot worse than this to get here. And so you're not just gonna scare me with some words and some menacing looks. That's one of the greatest weaknesses of the owners, is that there's 31 of them and they're all competitors and business partners at the same time. Whereas players, we understand that once we leave the field, we're all in a fraternity of football players. We have a tremendous amount of respect for the fact that how hard it takes to get here. I don't know that the owners have that same type of respect for each other.
Our battles with the owners are serious. They are at times epic. They are consequential. As we start to look at the expiration of this deal, it's never lost on me that at the same time that you're trying to improve the lives of our players and their families, that you're dealing with people who are looking to take back gains that you already have. And if that means ruthlessly treating the owners the way that they treat us, we will never shy away from a fight.